Hello friends, welcome to Study Maniac presented by S Developers. Friends, we are starting a new course on current affairs and DNA of the Hindu. As you all know, the current affairs are a very important thing for UPSC, and UPSC can ask you several questions on current affairs. Alright, so we are starting this new course for you, and the key feature of this course would be that this course will be strictly based upon the current affairs for UPSC only. No irrelevant news. We won't cover anything else. We will cover news to the point required for UPSC only. Alright, so let's start. Current affairs and the Hindu analysis of July 17, 2018. Okay, first news is wholesale price inflation touches a 4-year high. Inflation at the wholesale level quickened to 5.77% in June, the highest since December 2013, driven in large part by rising fuel prices according to the official data released on Monday. Alright, as you can see in this chart I've taken from the Hindu, the wholesale price index. Okay, and also there are a few things which you should know about wholesale price index, that economic advisor under Ministry of Commerce issues it. Its base year is 2011 and 12, and the difference between WPI and CPI, the wholesale price index and consumer price index, is the weightage of commodities in WPI is different, whereas in CPI it's constant. So this is the main difference between WPI and CPI. All right, moving towards the next news, and that is SC lashes out at center on pollution. The court has been urging the government since December 2017 to move forward toward a nationwide ban on the use of pet coke and furnace oil to power up industries in a bid to fight pollution. The court had by then, in October last year, already ordered a ban on the industrial use of pet coke and furnace oil in Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, and Rajasthan. Government has already banned in Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, and Rajasthan. What they have banned is pet coke. What is pet coke? Pet coke is a byproduct of petroleum industry used as a substitute of coal. It has a high heat content. It emits less CO2, but the sulfur content is high. Okay, so it emits more sulfur in atmosphere, hence it is a pollutant, it is a polluting substance. So government is, sorry, the so Supreme Court is ordering the government to ban this completely in our nation. All right, the BrahMos flight test in extreme weather conditions. Supersonic cruise missile BrahMos on Monday was successfully flight tested under extreme weather condition as part of the service life extension program of the army. The strike range of BrahMos is around 290 kilometers, and it is tested by DRDO, and it is developed by the joint venture of DRDO and Russia. All right, that thing was important for national security, so I covered that news, the BrahMos news. All right, moving towards the next, the sugar production set to hit a record high next season, with farmers switching more to their acreage to a cane variety with a higher sugar yield. ISMA expects mills to produce a record 350-355 lakh ton of sugar next year, ever since that the 322 lakh ton produced this year. Next year the conditions are likely to be tougher than ever before. We expect to produce at least 90 lakh ton more than needed for domestic consumption, ISMA General Secretary Abhinash Verma told. So, what would be the benefit if the sugar content, if the sugar production increases in India? All right. So, you must have heard about the ethanol blending, in which we mix the ethanol with petroleum products like petrol and diesel. By mixing ethanol in those two, the pollution level decreases. So molasses is a product of sugar industry which is used in ethanol blending. Okay, so when the sugar production will increase, molasses will increase, hence the ethanol blending will increase, which will cause less pollution. All right, we should relate and we should know how to relate the things, so that's why I've included it here. Okay, so next news is Assam legislation prescribes jail term for of up to 7 years. President Ramnath Kovind assents to the bill against witch hunting that the Assam Assembly passed 3 years ago has rejuvenated the campaign of a barely literate 65-year-old woman against superstition that has claimed score of lives. So here you can see that this is a state issue of Assam, but President Ramnath Kovind is taking action. All right, so you must know what happens and how in a state issue the president takes action and what happens then. You have to study it yourself and please answer about it in comment section. Okay, moving towards the next one. Supreme Court declines to stay new rule on tobacco products. The Supreme Court on Monday declined to stay the operation of new amendment rule of the Union Health Ministry directing the manufacturers to have graphic warning images on the packets of cigarettes and other tobacco products and helping numbers for those who wanted to quit the habit. A bench led by Chief Justice Deepak Mishra refuses to grant interim stay on tobacco products, Second Amendment Rule 2018, which would come into effect from September 1. Alright, Supreme Court has declined to stay new rules on tobacco products. Okay, you can read it yourself. Okay, China challenges US tariff threat at WTO. As you all know, there are some kind of a war of trade going between China and USA. So this news is related to that. China announced that it filed a World Trade Organization challenge on Monday to US President Donald Trump's latest tariff threat, stepping up its domestic effort to counter US pressure in sprawling technology dispute. The Trump administration has criticized the WTO as unable to deal with the problem posed by the China, but it might help Beijing rally support from governments that criticize Mr. Trump for going outside the WTO to impose tariffs on China and the other imports. The move is usually swift, coming less than other week after the US proposed 10% tariff on a $200 billion list of Chinese goods. Those wouldn't take effect until at least September. Okay, IMF cuts India growth forecast for 2018 by a notch to 7.3%. India's growth rate is expected to rise from 6.7% in 2017 to 7.3% in 2018 and 7.5% in 2019 as drags from the currently exchange initiative and the introduction of goods and services tax fade, said the IMF's latest World Economic WEO update. The project is 0.1% and 0.3 percent point lower from 2018 and 2019 respectively, that in April WEO, reflecting negative effect on the higher oil prices on domestic demand and faster than anticipated monetary policy tightening due to the higher expected inflation, it said. So what is the cause of less growth? It is the hike in petrol products. Okay, when the petrol products will high, so what will it cause? It will cause higher inflation. All right, it will cause inflation. So for that, RBI has to follow tight money policy. Hence, it will increase CRR and SLR. So banks will have less money to lend to the people. Hence, it will increase the inflation. So that was our first DNA. If you like it, please like and subscribe our channel. All right, we will daily bring latest current affairs for you. Thank you very much.